Hi guys, welcome to Chakra Sessions. I'm your host, Holly Labbé, here on Star Nation Radio Network. I'm hearing a bit of an echo, so let me know if you are too. Good morning, Christine. Glad to be in the house. Today's subject is modern day alchemy. And what on earth does that mean? It's all about the stages of transformation. So let me know again if you're all right, Christine, you are doing correctly too. All right, we work it out. Not sure what keeps happening, but I have an idea. Okay, how are we now? For me, I don't hear it. So let me know how it is for you guys. I'm just going to put my text up. So let me know if you're hearing this, seeing this, if we're all good. Okay, phew. I think I know what the problem is now. So here we are. We're doing modern day alchemy. And so in the modern day alchemy, what does that mean? It's how do we do transformation and how are we shifting things in our lives? People took alchemy to be physically turning lead into gold. And there is some merit to that. There is some truth to that. But really, it has been the hidden gemstone of how do we shift and how do we change our lives. So there are some specific stages that we go through in the alchemical process that we do on a regular basis, and we don't realize we're doing alchemy. And so my team wanted me to chat with you about that today, because as we all know, the more we live our life with intention, the more we can create what we intend. But when we're just sort of living our lives as if it's happening to us, then we're not always happy with our creations. Does that make sense? I hope. So if you think this is something that somebody else might want to get in on here, listen to, chat about, or go through maybe the transformational energy that we will be doing in the meditation at the end, please like and share this, whether you share it to your Facebook page, a group that would like it, or message it to a friend. It helps spread the energy, spreads the connection. So everybody's saying it's better, which I truly appreciate. And I just want to say hi to everybody. So let me bring everyone up here quickly. Good afternoon, Lindsay June. Glad to have you in the house. Hi, Marie. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Hello, Martina. Glad to have you aboard. I love all the light in the back of your picture. That's gorgeous. Oh, hello, Kimberly. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. And Neshi, of course, she's loving and sprinkling the live stream show, of course. And hello, Margaret. Glad to have you. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So here we are. I have this, can't really see it. Here you go. So I have this handout that I give at my school to help people along their journey. Because it's not an image, I couldn't load it to share it directly here, But what I will do is I will share it onto my page afterwards. So if it's something as a file, so if it's something that you're interested in to help sort of keep you in your alchemy process, you're welcome to download it, okay? So one of the things that happens is generally when we're in a situation that we don't like and we want to transform it, what happens first? Well, what happens first is we have that, you know, sensation of, ugh, there's so much here that I don't want. And so the first stage of alchemy is the calcination. And so what happens in that process is that we start to disintegrate or burn away anything that doesn't work for us anymore. And we've all been in those situations unintentionally, right? Where we've been complaining about our job, we've been complaining about our relationship, we've been complaining about, you know, the weather, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, the universe goes, oh, you don't like this? Boom. So they shift it, but we never set what we wanted to shift. So, you know, next thing you know, you don't like your job. Well, you get hurt at work or you're laid off, and you don't like your home. And so, you know, that you're renting and it gets sold and you've got to move in like less than 30 days. That's when we go through what feels like an initiation of fire, right? And when we're in that process, you know, we had an opportunity to do the change intentionally. You know, the universe gave us a number of little knocks on the door. And so instead, we get thrown into this process. And so we can either be excited by the fire burning away what we didn't like anyways, or what wasn't serving us anyways, and look at it as a beautiful opportunity to shift and create something new, or we can get caught in fear and we can recreate more of what we just lost. So, you know, everybody's been through that process, like I said, of, you know, trial by fire. You really get in a place where life is happening to you. In alchemy, in the modern day alchemy, it's being an aware presence of life's not happening to you. You are the creator of your own life. You are the creator of your own story, and you get to change anything you don't like. You are the editor. You have the red pen. You can go, ooh, I don't like that part. Let's switch it. Let's change it. Let's move it into something else. So when that kind of happens, we can feel energetically like we're breaking apart or our life is breaking apart. And we often say things like, everything is just falling apart around me. Well, it's because it doesn't have enough energy to hold it together anymore. And it's held together with love energy. And if there isn't love energy in it, it starts to crumble. And so, because it can't be built on a foundation of fear, we can create in a fear place. But if we release the fear and go into a sense of, you know, being true to ourselves, being in a place of compassion and love for ourselves and other people around us, then stuff that we created in fear really just can't hold together anymore. And unfortunately, we often find this out. We're in this cool, wonderful place and we're feeling great and we're spiritually connected. And then all of a sudden, everything hits the fan. And you're like, what the heck? Everything was going so good. Why did this happen? Well, because it can no longer hold together in this other vibration that you aren't holding. And as it breaks apart, you might drop in vibration to pick those pieces up because you want to hold them together. But, you know, this is how life happens, right? We shift our vibration, and things that don't go well with us anymore, they fall off. We're a giant magnet. And so we can only attract and attach to us the things that are similar or in a same frequency, a same vibration. So after, you know, things start to break apart, there's the dissolution stage, which is basically taking, so if you think of the first stage as having all this fire, right? All this fire coming in, burning everything up, breaking it apart, shaking us to our seams. Then the dissolution part comes in, where the water comes in, and the water starts to wash away the debris. And, you know, a lot of you understand that the correlation between the water and tears and grief can be very close. So it basically means you're going to go through this huge emotional process. And as you go through the emotions, you get to choose to heal those broken pieces, love them and let them go, or you can heal them so that they can move up to a vibration that matches you again. And really, it's that place where you no longer have to carry as much of it as you did. Now, when we're doing alchemy with intention, when we have an episode where things start to fall apart, we can get super excited, like, woo, I'm in the next stage of alchemy, and I'm here we go. Let's burn off everything that's ready to burn off, and let's cleanse and heal everything that is here inside of me and everything that wants to break apart, so that all of this, all of us, all of our energy, it can move to the next vibration. It can move to a higher place of healing. And when that happens, then we're not in a place of regret. And we're not in a place of, woe is me, I'm the victim, this happened to me. We're in this beautiful place of thank you, gratitude, that, wow, that really, I didn't like that job anyways, and apparently, you know, I didn't take action soon enough to get me out of this job that I didn't like. But boy, now I have all this amazing opportunity to call in what I truly love, I truly desire, if that makes sense. Good morning, Roberta. Glad to have you in the house. And I saw Martina said she has to watch later. So we'll see you. Glad you're having a great, awesome day. And the content is always here for you guys when you need it and when you're ready for it. So when we're doing that, like washing away the things that don't work, it's not that we're discarding anything or anyone. We're basically sending the energy back to Creator, back to its original creation energy, and letting it evolve the way it's meant to. But we don't have to stay attached to it any longer. And one of the things that happens for a lot of people at this stage is we develop a lot of attachments very early on. And when we're super attached to things or people, we hold on to them for far too long. We aren't willing to let them go. You know, just think about your closet. How many things do you have in your closet that don't really fit you anymore? Or how many things do you have in your closet that somebody else gave you and you probably won't ever wear, or you don't really want to wear it because it's not really you? But we hold on to it because it has sentimental value, or we have wishes attached to it. But it doesn't serve a purpose. It's taking up space. And we basically hold on to that. So what if instead, the minute it no longer served us anything in our lives, we gave it love and sent it on its way? that would help constantly keep in a flow of new energy, help you be in a place where you can receive, continuing to receive. What I'm hearing through my team is the sensation is we're all asking for things, right? We're all asking, our team to help us see more clearly or help bring something into our lives that we would like to create. But remember to be in a harmonious relationship with anyone, including the divine. For everything that you want to bring in, you have to be letting that much go. You need to be giving that forward in another way. So, it's part of the why a lot of the spiritual masters were like, give your stuff away, because then you don't have any attachments. You can just be. But when we give things away in resentment, we're still attached to it, because we're upset we gave it away. It needs to be in that giving away. And it doesn't have to be like you give away all your possessions. That's not really what they mean. It's anything that no longer serves you, anything that no longer brings you joy. Send it forward to somebody else who it can. And that includes people, and relationships and jobs. If you're not happy with your bank, there's 100 other banks. Stop complaining about it, and send them love, and find somebody who resonates with you, who treats you the way you want to be treated, and move on. But we don't do that, right? Because we feel the need to be loyal, and those are all ways we do attachments. So when you're trying to create beautiful new things in your life, beautiful ways for you to transform, there's just as much letting go as creation. So we have to kind of keep that in the back of our head and hold on to that. I noticed Barbie was here. Hi, welcome, sweetie. Glad to have you in the house. So one of the things is sometimes we have to detach, right? Detach those attachments. Create some separation. And when we have that separation, ooh, the thunder just went there. Here, isn't that cool? So when we create the separation, it's a moment of differentiating ourselves from the object, whether I can hold, can I let go of my coffee cup? And when is it easiest to let go of? Well, for me, right, it's easiest to let go of my coffee cup when it's empty. Or when it's like really cold or something like that. But otherwise, I'm searching for it, looking for it, carrying with me room to room, right? Because it's like a part of me. So I'm like carrying it with me, right? And we do that with people, and we do that with things all the time. And we do it with energy. We do it with events. That's a big one. We carry trauma with us. It's in the bigger than a cup, and it's on our body, and we're just carrying it around in a backpack because, there's part of us that knows we want to let it go. But at the same time, it's part of who we are. So going through the separation process of, behaviors aren't who I am, or someone's behavior is not who they are. It's how they're acting or reacting to situations. And when we can separate that, then it's easier to transform our connection to other people. I love you, but I don't tolerate being treated this way. So the behavior is something I'm not going to tolerate. And for me to have a relationship with you, it's going to be in a place where we're both comfortable with the exchange. You know, are we both receiving and giving proportionately, or does it feel lopsided? And if it feels lopsided and it's not, you know, how do you bring it back into balance? Can it be brought back into balance? Because that brings harmony and restores. And when it gets too far out of balance, well, then we usually go through a period where one of us has to go through the calcination process again. Goes through the burning through fire. We get into a huge argument. Now we're not talking kind of thing, which is not the easy way. So in the modern day alchemy, all of the things that we're transforming are our beliefs, our patterns, our traumas, our reactions, our coping mechanisms, and our connections with other people and with the planet. And when we are focused and have an intention of being in our heart space as we're doing all this, being in the highest, fullest, brightest energy that we can hold, and not judging ourselves when that highest, brightest might not be terrific on a particular day because you're overtired, you know, you've got a lot of stress going on, and you just literally can only do your best. And that's fine. It's when we beat ourselves up for it that it's not fine. And so when we go through wanting to transform, wanting to change, wanting to move through a higher vibration, wanting to go through the ascension, these are all pieces that we're going through. We're going through the trial by fire. We're going through the dissolution of using the emotional energy to wash certain things away. In that place, we can see what pieces need to be separated out of our lives that don't work for us anymore. And then we can start to call ourselves back home. So Judy has a really good comment. She said, sometimes it's hard when they are not happy with themselves. Oh, babe, you hit it right on the nail, right? You know, and it's also not it's hard when we're not happy with ourselves, right? It's not just if they're not happy with themselves, if we're not happy with ourselves about the situation, it's super hard. When we call in judgment energy, when we call in frustration, when we call in resentment when it's attached to another people, if either one of us is in that situation, then we've brought anger and fear right into the middle. So how transformative can we be? You know, are we able to fill those places with love and light? Or do we just need to cut the cord and cut the tie and cut our losses and move forward? Sometimes we have to do that. But if we don't take it personally, you know, if somebody else is not happy with themselves, I mean, that's a lot of people on the planet right now, right? They've got things going on. They wish they had, you know, they wish they were thinner. They would wish they were younger. They wish they had more money. They have all of these things that are kind of holding them back. If we hold that energy with them, then we're helping them create more of the same. But if we can love them and love their inner critic who's giving them a hard time, helping them separate who they are from the voices in their head, because it's voices in their head that are making them feel bad about themselves. When we can separate that for ourselves first, when we get that inner critic and we push them to the side and are like, I'm not having it today. I can hear all the chatter, but you're not going to influence my decisions. You're not going to influence my day today. And when we can hold that for ourselves, we can help vibrate that possibility forward for other people around us. But we all meet. I'm not sure. I think you mean, but we all meet in the middle to have some creative energy together. Yes. When we can all hold the same energy together, we do. It's a gathering together, and that's in the stages of alchemy. This is called conjunction. So this is when we start to merge all the parts of ourselves and the connections with others. We merge it together into from this place of duality of right, wrong, shadow, light, and we bring it into this energy of oneness, togetherness, wholeness. There's no separation. When we do the conjunction stage, we can do this with our dreams. We become one with our dreams. We feel it, we smell it, we taste it. It's here in the room with us now. There's no separation between you and the dollar amount that you want to be in your checkbook. If you believe it's in your checkbook and can hold that vibration and are releasing anything that is counter to that, then you become one with that energy, one with that essence. And we can do that with people when we drop our inner critic, when we stop criticizing and judging them, and they stop criticizing and judging us. It releases the anger, it releases the resentment, and we can find what we have in common, find what brings us together rather than what makes us different. And when we start to bring all this energy into harmony, we create balance in all aspects of our lives. So we're balancing our physical life and our spiritual life, our masculine energy and our feminine energy. We're also balancing our logical brain and our creative, intuitive brain so that we're using both, not one or the other. And the other piece that comes together around that is that, it also brings into balance things like your hormones, because all of those get off kilter because the other things are. So anything that is out of balance in harmony, it's time to bring the energy back together. But the way to bring it back together is to have shed and separated and released as much stuff as you could that doesn't vibrate with who you are. So it's like all those beliefs that aren't really true about you, letting them go. Things that other people said to you and you took personally, letting that go. It does not have to be your reality. That's how that goes. And then when we have that coming together energy, when we start to bring everything back into wholeness, when we start to bring everything back into this place, what happens at this point is that it's that fermentation point. I think about, whenever I get to this point, it's like you gather all the ingredients for a really good wine, but you can't drink it right away, can you? It's got to sit. It's got to come together. The chemistry has to shift so it turns from the ingredients into wine. And as humans, we sometimes don't have a lot of patience for the fermentation process. I can't tell you how many times, I do sessions with clients who want it to hurry up and happen yesterday, which we all do, right? But there are some things that for the fullest and the brightest outcome, they've got to go through fermentation. They've got to sweeten. They've got to really, in the coming together, go through a process where they shed their energy. So kind of how I'm seeing it is, if you put grapes and sugar together, right, and water and I know a bunch of other stuff to make wine, right? Grapes no longer are grapes. So you're not drinking grapes, you're not drinking sugar, you're not drinking water, you are now drinking wine. The same is true for people. So, if I'm coming together and Neshi's coming together and Julie Hedges is coming together and Ed Langen is coming together and Maureen Mann is coming together and Connie is coming together and Mervyn is coming together. When we shed our individuality and come together as spiritual teachers, we become star nations. And it doesn't mean that we don't hold our individuality. We all have our own style and but in the gathering together, we help create the learning community that is Star Nations. And depending on who the writers are and who the show hosts are, the flavor of the wine may differ year to year, right? Because it ferments differently. It comes together differently. So, and that, think about, family holiday gatherings. So let's just say the last 3 Thanksgivings, were they all exactly the same? There were parts that were the same, but everybody was shifting and growing. And even though you may come together in the same way, in the same location, eat the same food, each one has its own flavor, its own set of memories, right? And so that is the coming together of all the separation energy and bringing it together to create a unified Thanksgiving for each of us. And then the final thing after the fermentation happens is that it goes through one more sort of distilling process, the alchemy energy. So it all comes together and starts to shift into something brand new. And then once it starts to shift into something brand new, there's this distillation process where we again let the energy run through and we strain out anything else that no longer works. So you can imagine if for some reason there were like grape skin happened to still be in the wine, you would want to strain it so that those pieces or fragments or maybe there was like a little straw, but that's not what the word is. I keep saying straw. That was mixed in, and so you would want to take that out. It will impact how sweet the wine is. So when that happens, everything has come together in a brand new way, and it's always learning, it's always changing, it's always evolving, it's always awakening. It's giving you a newer awareness of self over and over and over again if you continue in the alchemy process. So basically, alchemy is how do you transform your soul? How do you return your energy back to your true self, your true essence? And you go through this process of finding what is not you and releasing what is not you to come closer to you. And then you feel more solid as you, and then new stuff that doesn't feel like you comes up and asks for it to be released. And then you release that and you come to a newer, fuller sense of you. And then new stuff comes up that asks for release. And this cycle can happen as slow or as rapid as we want to create. For me, I feel like every single day I go through this process every day, and I wake up every day a truer essence, closer to my truth. And some days the releasing is really super hard because it's stuff that I've been attached to for decades. It's been part of my truth or part of my reality. And now it's coming up and it's like, well, it's not really true any longer. The alchemy process can be intense, but it also can be as easy as breathing. But what happens is that we hold on to fear, and as soon as we are fearful or worry or we doubt that things can happen, we slow the process down. And so my team has been talking for a few months about how do you get your heart and yourself back into love energy quickly? Because we all are going to have those days where we get knocked off balance. And how do we get there? Well, we get there through gratitude, being thankful for where we are and what we have right in the moment. And we have it when we can fill our heart with compassion for ourselves, which, so many people are able to feel compassionate for other people because we've disassociated that compassion with ourselves. But how able are you willing to accept compassion, to feel that you are worthy of compassion, that you that there's nothing wrong with you, that you're perfect in all the zaniness that may be happening right now, because you're the perfect person to deal with the zany, and to grow from the zany that may be going on. So, the modern day alchemy is really what a lot of people are talking about: transformation or becoming your authentic self. But what happens is those words have different definitions for every single person on the planet. And so even though we think we may be agreeing on that, we aren't. And when that happens, we feel either less than or like there's something wrong because, we're still in this place. We're still having trouble with our mother, right? But that's because, we have years and years and years of interactions with our mother built up. And so even as we grow and we separate and we release some of that energy, there's still some hidden that we haven't detached from. And it doesn't mean that you've failed. It just means you found another piece. You found another piece to heal. And whether that happens with your partner, with your family members, or maybe it's you keep having the same situation come up over and over again. Well, it's that it hasn't fully transmuted. It hasn't fully transformed. It's encouraging you to go deeper than the surface. I'm hoping all of this is making sense to you guys. Because I'm seeing it in symbols and then trying to translate it to you. So it's a little, I know that it can be a little off kilter. So the basics, let's just go over the basics one more time. Stuff isn't going right in your life, or you don't like things in your life. You have the opportunity to proactively change it or wait until it happens to you, until you have to change that thing. That's our free will. We either can choose to do it on our own terms, or We can wait till the bitter end, and then it's thrown in our face and we have to change it. That's the first step. When we're in that place of we have to change it, it's often through a lot of fire energy, because it's trying to shake us like an earthquake and burn up everything that, no longer works for us, that no longer is in alignment with what our soul's journey is meant to be. So sometimes when we're like, wait a minute, this is the perfect relationship. Why is the relationship blowing up? Well, because the relationship isn't in alignment with who you are meant to be. It's perfect for keeping you stuck, but it's not perfect for your evolution or for the other person. So sometimes those relationships just blow right up. And then when that blows up, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of water that comes through to dissolve all the fragments. And then they're looking at the fragments. You can decide whether those fragments can be separated from you and thrown in the trash, or do you pull them back into your vibration because they're truly a piece of you or part of you. Then when we're in that conjunction stage, we're like merging all the ingredients, trying to make ourselves into a new vintage, a new wine. And as we bring the ingredients together, then they have to sit. That new energy needs to sit. It needs to come together. It needs to ferment. It needs to coagulate. It needs to turn into something. And that always requires patience. And when we go through that stage of patience, then finally we can come out in essence as a new version of ourselves. And we can do this daily. We can do this hourly. We can do it with each breath, or we can do it on a yearly cycle or a monthly cycle, however, whatever speed we want to shift, grow, and evolve our own essence. Remembering all the parts of ourselves that are true and releasing all the parts that aren't true and aren't in love but are in fear. Because lots of times we do things and become things because we're afraid of what other people will think. So that energy is all related to fear. Phew, that's a whole lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a basic clearing meditation. And in the clearing meditation, I'm going to encourage you to separate anything that got shook loose today. And after the separation, we're going to call back together all the pieces that, separate all the stuff out that is not you. Call back any pieces that you would like to hang on to that really still resonate, that it's your truth. Bring that back in and bring us back to whole, so we can have a moment of feeling exactly who we're meant to be in this moment. Does that make sense? Okay, so take a couple of deep breaths. That was a lot to digest, and thank you for sticking with it.
Go.
And do that again. Take a deep breath.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
And we're going to call in the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to invite the divine energy to come down through our crown and just begin shifting, moving, releasing any energy that is no longer ours, no longer serves us.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
And really allowing any old perceptions to release, any ideas or thoughts. Moving down and releasing any words that have gone unspoken, the ways we've held back our authentic truth or our voice, our self-expression.
Got it. Got it.
And releasing all the burdens that you've carried with those parts of you that aren't you, all the responsibilities that you took on for other people or for other situations.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Opening the energy around the heart and the lungs to return your breathing and your heart rate back to harmony, back to flow. Releasing any hurt, disappointment, shame, or grief that you've attached to any aspects that are no longer you.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah.
And bringing the energy slowly down toward the abdomen,
Got it.
separating from the inner critic so that you can release any energy of judgment or resentment,
Got it. Got it.
frustration, anything that has impacted your self-confidence, your self-worth, or your self-esteem.
Got it. 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 Got it.
Good, a lot in there. Releasing any old anger too that may be attached.
Got it.
Anger at yourself for allowing things to transpire the way they did.
Got it.
Anger toward others for feeling drawn into that.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
And releasing any energy that is difficult to stomach, to to bear, to fathom or understand, and just letting that go.
got it, got it, got it, got it,
And moving down into our lower abdomen and releasing any of the energies in our relationship that are out of harmony, out of sync, any emotions that have been unable to flow fully or properly.
got it, 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 got it,
And then really allowing the energy to go all the way down to your foundation, down to your root, into your legs.
got it,
And any energy that's still unsteady, out of balance, out of harmony,
got it,
any energy that still has fear attached to it,
got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, all it, got it, got it, got it,
allowing all of that to go deep into Grandmother Earth. So whether you allow it to flow down through your feet, through your grounding cords, through your connection, whatever feels accurate to you, down through your tailbone, into the ground,
got it,
but allowing it to go into a compost pile where it can ferment and turn into brand new energy. And maybe the really dense energy can go deep into the molten lava center of the earth and go through the burning process to burn away all that no longer serves any.
got it, got it,
Allowing the full disintegration,
got it,
the dissolution, and the separation.
got it, got it, got it, got it,
And now inviting that pure creation energy to come in through our feet and begin to match our fuller, brighter, higher vibration,
got it,
creating a new foundation, new ability to move forward.
got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it,
And gently allowing your personal transformation and healing to occur as it moves up through your torso,
got it,
through your spine,
got it, got it, got it, got it, Ahoj. 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 Ahoj.
And as it moves up to your ribs and your heart and your lungs, allowing yourself to feel the fullness, feel the brightness, feel the fuller connection to your highest self, to that tiny space in the heart, the transcendental heart.
Ahoj.
And then allowing that energy to just radiate out through your whole body and through all the layers of your aura.
Ahoj. Ahoj. Ahoj.
And bringing it up through your throat, through your skull, to the top of your head, and all the way up to the divine source.
Ahoj. Ahoj. Ahoj.
Now just taking a couple of deep breaths in this energy. Allowing your muscle memory to hold the sensation,
Ahoj.
the snapshot for the moment.
Ahoj. Ahoj. Ahoj.
And gently begin to dissolve your meditation. Stretch, yawn. Little fingers or toes, whatever you need.
Ahoj. Ahoj.
Good morning, Brandy and Lisa. Hi, guys. Glad you joined us on some point. So, there you have it. Just hearing about shifting, working through the alchemical process can start to create it within you. Many people have read that book, The Alchemist. It's a lovely, by Paulo Coelho. It's a lovely reminder of what we're looking for is inside of ourselves. Even what we seem to be looking for is outside. So when we match our inner vibration to what we're trying to create outside of ourselves, then we're a magnet for it, and it can just drop into our lives easily. And when we have doubt and we have fear or worry, then we push that creation away from us. So I'm hoping that you got some pieces that are helpful for you. I will put the handout that I give my students on alchemy on the page itself, so that you can, for anybody who might want it, to kind of give you a reminder of what alchemy is about and why we might want to do it. And you get to decide the pace that you're going to shift and create and evolve at. That's part of the free will, right? So I want to remind you that we have this evening communications from home with Neshi, and tomorrow I will be here for Soul Connections. I'll be doing card readings as well as the healing meditation. And remember, you can use that every week to really help shift and grow and heal yourself. Because as light workers, we tend to focus on everyone else, and we don't take time for ourselves and to replenish ourselves. I'm so happy, Roberta. Roberta said, "Oh my, I'll want to do that again. Moved a bunch and got some great loving energy. Thank you. Oh, you are welcome. I know the heart energy is especially when we're in the energy of alchemy, that we are transforming and transmuting. The filling energy is so pure, that comes in through the heart. So I'm glad you were able to experience that. It's, you know, not distilled energy. It's straight from source. So I'll be here tomorrow evening at 7 for Soul Connections. And thank you for being here today as well. It helps me with my personal soul's mission, which is to heal the healers. And so thank you for showing up to heal and spreading the word. If there's anybody out there that you know who could use a little healing or some understanding of, maybe they're just going through the alchemical process in their life right now, that would be great if you could do that. And with that, you guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.